Okay, looks like we got the chat up. Which is definitely a plus. First things first, right now we're on one of the testing worlds. By the way, welcome everybody. There we go. Do a respawn. Alright lads, we have managed to board the carrier and capture one of the med bays. We managed to kill off the crew and take full control over the carrier. Drinks are on me. Now go give those military scum a right rumble. Pirate Commander. Alright, what are we looking at here? Some sort of command post. Oh wow. It was a torpedo that we saw in there. Oh. So basically, FutureGamer is known for creating like the Deserts of Karak theme, like warships, among other things. It's cool stuff. I would definitely say it's cool stuff. Downsides are, excuse me, that a lot of his work isn't really published too much on YouTube, which is why we're doing that now. And I feel like his design principles can be adopted for other purposes. I mean, look at this thing. I think this is a strike fighter, not an interceptor. It's still pretty cool. Wow. Entire gun got blown off. His use of these piston heads as sort of like reactive armor looking things is pretty cool. Well as this one, armored cages. Strange. Okay. The only thing I don't like is a lot of these areas are single entrance, single exit, which is not exactly ideal. Wow, look at the size of this APC. Now that is a serious fighting vehicle. 2, 3, 4, 5. A 10-seater, wow. If you ask me, a bit excessive, but still. Pretty darn cool. Looks like this used to be a hangar bay before it got cut free. Oh, interesting. So he uses the ramp system between the two parts. Look what happened to the bomber. Strangely enough, the radar still works. A lot of these look like they're slightly too damaged to function. This place looks familiar. If I know this design right, yeah. That's the bridge. Which is instant death, apparently. Alright, let's go check out a bit more of this location. Oh, this must have been the vehicle that we took down here. Pretty damaged. Maybe a cruise missile. Hard to tell. For those of you who have actually played Deserts of Karak, let's adjust the lighting just a hair. The ceiling is extremely uninspired. There's a great bit over there. That's kind of fun. Alright, let's see if we can get down to a lower level, like through some sort of ramp. I mean, if you're gonna go through the trouble of involving rotors, why not make like a simple rotor elevator or something? I feel like that would not be too much more difficult, and a bit of interior design would be nice. Everything's the same color. There's no special lights. For a mock-up of the Capizzi, which I think is what this is. Whoa! Is this like a recharge station? That's pretty cool. Alright. I think we're ready to see the actual Capizzi. Just for a sense of scale, though. That's smart. Turn block damage. Useless. Okay. Definitely, I'd say an interesting vessel. Well, time to go to one of our other testing worlds. We've learned quite a bit from this. So, load game. Let's go take a look at some of the other work. So FutureGamer has made a lot of Deserts of Karak builds, or at least things inspired by, I think, land carriers, things that I feel like in a good setting are good investments. Because wheels are cheap, you can move a huge amount of materials for basically nothing. So today we're going to be looking at this, his battle cruiser, along with, I hope, There we go. Let's open up his Steam. There is one I want to check out first. So there's a lot here. We got the manta ray. We'll start out with this vessel. So the one that we're looking at now is labeled as... Let's see, it's not the negotiator expert. This is brawler. Or at least it's a brawler class. So let's take a look. For suspension, it's rocking integrated suspension, not isolated, which is important to note. Yep, integrated suspension system. I worry about bottoming out on something like this, but there also does not appear... Oh, interesting. Double back suspension. Whole thing appears to be made out of... Wait a minute. I think that's light armor, actually. Why on earth would you build something this large and not give it full heavy armor? That just seems weird to me. We have a rotor, which means this part is probably something fun. I'll figure out how to activate it. Back hanger cover. Open. Reverse the rotors. Alright, the underslung turrets are also interesting. Boom. Alright. His interior needs more colors. A lot more colors. And the use of lighting is a bit, well, boring. I do like this little glass area up there. And then there's this, but there's no connecting points. Not a single connector. Semi-interesting staircase, though. I like that. These walls are necessary for that rotor. There also doesn't appear to be any buttons. If this is a battle cruiser, it's a little bit too big, I think. Now that is a gun. Also, I would probably put a handrail in there. Handrails are more useful than you think, not because, you know, people need to be protected from falling, but because handrails in general guide the player's eye to where they should go. For instance, the moment this is here, my goal is not to look for a staircase going down, even though there is one over there. Even though it's the ugly kind. Now looking at this, is this a staircase? Exactly. Just immediately fall down. We have a lowered helipad, which is odd. Let's see. Okay, it looks like Future really benefits from great exterior design and functionality, but the interior design seems to be secondary. For instance, this vessel is gigantic. Yet, its only combat capability, as far as I can tell, is as a respawn point. In fact, let's check one thing. Doesn't have a single refinery, unless he went with non-custom names, which is odd. That's cool though. Oh, I would have cut it off a little bit sooner, but that's just me. Putting critical components in a big wall is fine. You could use them to decorate though, if you want to. Battery bank is large, which is good. Ideally, you want one reactor and enough batteries that you can use the vehicle at full power. That is ideal. So I say 2 reactors, which is not a bad way to do things. A lot of the rooms do seem to be empty and they don't have airlocks, which is an interesting choice. to get to see how big that gun is. It's like a freaking Gao. Alright. Let's take a look at some I really want to get into this area. Let's take a gander. Internal access to the rest of the ship also is a must. It looks like there's some that way. Whew. Alright. We are pulling really bad simulation speed right now. Let's actually check to see if there's any other entities in. Yes, there is. There we go. No reason for us to basically be taking up physics simulations for no reason. Actually, we probably, one of the marks of good design though is I don't actually need a light. And there are few enough lights on board this vessel that we're not getting that bizarre flicker. Now, normally I wouldn't suggest dropping to your death. Also, little trick, LCDs, watch this. LCD panels. I'm gonna grab all of them, and we're gonna set these to 100, 100, 100. Font, monospace. Actually, I'm going to leave this one at max just so you can see the viewability difference of setting your LCDs to 100. Especially if you're indoors. I mean, look at that. It is objectively easier to see. Why are we having this much trouble? In fact, we're going to wait here for just 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright. I'm seeing if, at least to some extent, I can prevent some of these frame drop issues. Video output low. That is odd. Also, that is an interesting choice. Opening a single blast door rather than two. So we have 3 reactors? Spinning it's fun. And the welders are cool. That's an unnecessary physics block. In general, I would recommend not using physics blocks if you can avoid it. Granted, this is a wheeled vehicle, so... I mean, to quote Marcelo, you already know you're riding with Clang, so... Alright, let's see how she drives. You know, on this vehicle, DOS might be a good idea. Alright, looks like we've already lost a wheel. Looks like we're getting some catastrophic wheel damage. And this is just from driving in a straight line. So I think the Mach Capizzi version might be, you know, somewhat better suited. Alright. There's the giant crater, which means I probably would have set her down somewhere near here. I thought I'd take at least a peek in at these guns. Simple, ooh, a double rotor system. Double advanced rotors. Allows for that to pivot, and then I assume, yeah, advanced rotor below. Quite an extensive battery bank. A wall of decoys. Interesting. No repairs, though. But it's interesting that you draw fire toward the central piping. No, I guess it's slightly below. It would knock out some of your juice, though. What else do we got? That's good. In fact, if you wanted to optimize more cargo space for this thing, I'd say just replace these with cargo containers and bam! This has a humongous amount of storage space. I do like the large hangar. I like the wheels. I wonder if we can get a more stable suspension with something slightly different. Great use of shapes. Alright, unfortunately, it looks like this is not working at all. Alright, let's take a look at something a bit smaller, but albeit more interesting. Alright, we are having just such severe problems. Well, that's not good. Alright, respawning negotiator. She is large. It's supposed to be an older variant. Which is fine. You could still learn quite a bit from an older variant. Looks like it has a bunch of helipads. It doesn't have the heat sinks like the one more modern version of this has. It has the opening in the front. Still fun. That's fun. The little blinking lights. Test it out. Interesting machine. All right, let's take a look at another one of the vehicles. This one's called Manta Ray. Oh, large grid, interesting. I thought it was going to be way smaller. Good use LCDs. Oh, God, the interior. This is fun, though. All right. Nice. Little isolated airlock, that's okay. Got a med bay, again. Lighting and color could probably be improved a bit. Nice. And observe this. Remember the 100 rule. 100. 100. 100. And immediately, way more legible. Oh my God, this is a huge crew. Oh my God, why are there so many? Oh, wow. No, no, no. See, that wasn't enough. That was the problem. Is this just... Seriously? Take me down. Coloring one seat a different color is a great idea. To the point where... Taking a screenshot of that. Alright. So the cryopod room, which leads up to this. You know, if you've marked it in red, I don't think you need an additional sign, but I'll never fault them for giving me one. Is this just atmospheric? Even with all of these oh, that's why their power is turned way down. Okay. Take all these, boost up their power, and then... There we go. Great use of shapes. Asymmetric. Looks good. Alright, we've seen enough of this. Let's take a look at... I want to see his one thing that has gimbaled... He has a vehicle that has gimbaled wings. Maybe it was his gunship. Oh, I really like what he's done with this back part here. Good shape. Pulls down. He probably uses a smidge of color. The turrets, interesting. Interesting. I would like to study that gunship a bit more, but for now, let's take a look at more of what there is. There's a brawler battle cruiser. Here's the gunship. Why don't we look at the aerospace transport? Oh no, it has hydrogen thrusters. Not recommended. Now that's interesting. Exterior jump drives, I'm always a fan of that. I think it looks freaking great. I will say his lack of button panels on the exterior does worry me. Oh, never mind. My worries are gone. Let's see. You'd think if somebody would want to open this, that, yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't start opening this so they finish at the same time. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at the front of the ship. Blue lights down the center are cool. Automatic airlock script. LCDs are still too bright. Let's see what it looks like adjusted. Which of these is easier to read? In fact, I'll do this one too. Why not? That one LCD glitch. Here we go. Put glass around the jump drive. Alright. No, I don't want to die. There we go. I do like that this thing looks like a giant space plane. That is a nice touch. That is a nice touch. Internal cargo, but you can still see it. I would probably have put 2 turrets in. I wouldn't have put them on a critical pipe. Vents are fun. This is the cardinal sin. Anytime you need to use a jetpack, your floor plan has failed. But I like the other touches in here. Future is a very good way of designing the exterior of his ships. Good reactor. If emergency grind glass. See, that is fun. That is a cool thing to do. Gyros. The door script is not a huge fan of it, let's just say. Medical. Large cryo. All right. Looks like this area back here is the only habitable zone in the stern, which is fine.